Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. You should be watching this on Tuesday of the Unit 7 Week 3 folder. If you still need to finish materials in yesterday's folder over the propaganda activity, please do that before you enter this folder. Reason why I wanted to make a video for today is there are a lot of things in this folder. Some of them are going to be very, very brief though. So I am going to go through these notes with you guys. Just a couple of things I want to highlight. This is something you can watch on your own time. The video is only 25 seconds. It is from the newly released movie Oppenheimer, which talks about the creation of the atomic bomb through the Manhattan Project. All these things we'll be talking about in notes. I will also show you guys the nuke map on this video. You guys can look at that on your own time as well. And then I'll be leading you guys into today's activity where we're going to discuss the atomic bomb from both the Japanese side and the United States side. These are your primary sources for that reading. And then we do have a summative at the very bottom of this folder. Okay. So leading up to this, I have not really covered this that much with you guys, the Manhattan Project. This was a vocabulary term for you. One thing I really need you to understand, they didn't just start this in 1945 at the end of the war. They were actually working on this project for the entirety of the United States war effort. It took place in many different locations throughout the United States, with the most famous location taking place in Los Alamos, New Mexico. So the goal of the Manhattan Project was to produce an atomic bomb. The biggest difference from an atomic bomb and a regular bomb is the destructive force comes from a nuclear reaction, which means the destruction is going to be way greater than a normal bomb. So, obviously with one bomb, it's going to do a lot more damage than multiple bombs. So who is in control of it? This is going to be a secret government project. The lead scientist was Robert Oppenheimer, like that movie I just talked about. It just came out, I think last year, the year before. Movie does a really good job explaining kind of the lead up of this project. So it was successfully tested July 16th, 1945 in New Mexico. This took years and years of background work to make it happen. But as soon as it's tested and the test goes well, they are going to use this on two locations in Japan. So what did we do with this? We are going to drop both atomic bombs on two Japanese cities. So Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Big thing I want you guys to understand, these were dropped on civilian cities. It was not military targets. It was dropped on just a regular city. We did not drop it on the capital of Tokyo because we knew following World War II we would need to help Japan rebuild, and that was one city we did want to avoid. But Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they're still pretty populated cities, and they were dropped on civilian centers towards the end of the war. So one thing too, and the activity we'll talk about this today, the Japanese people were warned about this coming. Leaflets were dropped from American planes. They were told to get out of the cities. So there was a warning given, but a lot of Japanese people are still going to be harmed from these things. And that's the activity today does a good job showing you the different perspectives. So Hiroshima, 140,000 people are dead by the end of 1945. And you're going to see in these pictures the destruction just completely wipes out both cities. Nagasaki, a little bit lower, but still 70,000 dead by the end of 1945. And you can just see from these pictures just the complete destruction. Remember, this is from one bomb that did this, and just an ungodly amount of power that caused this to happen. Okay, so August 15th, 1945, that is when Japan surrenders. This marks the end of World War II. So the United States are the victors. However, one thing we're going to talk about, this directly leads into the Cold War, which was the building up of nuclear forces, and I'm going to talk about that in our nuke map. Okay, so what I just covered was the notes section. Like I said, after you watch this video, take a look at this atomic bomb video. This is going over the testing of the atomic bomb and how it was successful. Now we have this nuke map. I show this every single year. I think it does a really good job of showing you the impact that these bombs and nuclear weapons have on society. Because I think, there's some, maybe all of us have been guilty of, just saying, hey, let's just drop a bomb over there and be done with it. The issue when you say that is, one, you're dropping it on innocent civilians that have nothing to do with the war effort, and two, weapons have really grown in power over the last 100 years. So I have Danville pulled up for reference, okay? And we're going to drop the atomic bomb that was dropped on Nagasaki. So when you're on this map, if you're doing this by yourself, you can type in any city in the entire world and just hit go. And I'll show you guys another city after this. And then the Fat Man was the atomic bomb dropped in World War II. Make sure you hit the casualties mark right here, and then we're going to hit detonate. All right. Now it's going to give you some different a circle, and it's going to give you the fatalities and then estimated injuries. So let's talk about this. All right. Over here, this will kind of show you the effect differences. If you're in, I think basically an easy way to put this, if you're in the green, everything is vaporized, completely gone. So I'm going to go back to the slides real quick. It's going to look like this. There's nothing left. All right. If you're out here, okay, you might have your homes damaged. You might get, some radiation poisoning, those different things, but you might have a chance of survival. But basically, if this was dropped in Danville at the very, kind of by the post office, I think would be a good way to explain it. You're talking about our high school, football field, elementary school, everything is just completely incinerated. Okay. As you can see, the blast radius goes out a little bit, but not too bad. If you're in this kind of grayish circle, windows might be broke. Shingles might come off your house. You're going to hear the effects. You're going to see this, the smoke cloud come from it, but it might not directly impact you as much. Okay. So this was the Nagasaki bomb. As you can see, there's a bunch of different bombs, and we're going to go down all the way to the bottom here in a second. I'm going to go up to the Hiroshima one, though. This was dropped on Hiroshima, and we'll click detonate. You're going to see this is very similar to the other one, but just to kind of show you the differences, a little bit less in fatalities and injuries. All right. But let's go to a bigger city, and we're going to still use the atomic bombs here. So a typical one I do is New York because of how highly populated it is. And then once you do this, you can kind of move it around. I'm going to bring it to the center here, and then you click detonate. All right. Now, obviously, you're going to see we're getting out of the rural area, right? So your fatalities have extremely went up. You have 251,000 people immediately dead, and then you have 361,000 people injured. So as you can see, when you drop these bombs in bigger cities, it's going to have way more of an effect. Okay. Now, let's go back to Danville. All right. And I want to show you guys one more thing. And like I said, you guys can kind of play around with this later when you have some free time in class. Maybe Thursday would be a good day to do this. The biggest thing in the Cold War was, we didn't just stop at the atomic bomb. Countries like the United States, the Soviet Union, and others, they tried to build up their nuclear force as much as possible and kept building up weapons and weapons and weapons. And it got to a point where we're all the way down here now in current strength of weapons. So we're going to go to the largest Soviet Union bomb ever tested. All right. So when you do that, you're now going to hit detonate. Now look at this difference. Okay. So that one bomb that was created by the Soviet Union after World War II during the Cold War, now look. Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. So if it was dropped on the middle of Danville, okay, the completely incinerated area with the other bomb, it was just, localized in Danville. Now you have all of Howard East Knox is gone. Brinkhaven is gone. Okay. If you live on the outskirts of town, your houses are gone. Okay. But now you're getting effects all the way in Mount Vernon, Newark, Coshocton. Okay. Different locations around. So you're going to see over 30,000 people immediately dead and then 146,000 people injured. So let's go back to New York. Okay. So we can see a little bit of a bigger city here. We're going to hit go. All right. And we're going to do the same thing here. And I really want you to pay attention to this side over here. We're going to hit detonate. Now look how many fatalities you have. You have over 7 million fatalities and then 4 million people injured. So again, why am I showing you this? I'm not advocating talking about dropping bombs on cities, this, that, and the other. I'm just kind of telling you what these world leaders have to think about before they get involved in these conflicts with countries today. There's a lot of countries around the world that has this nuclear power, and that was the whole point of the Cold War, and that's why really no atomic bombs or it's never been dropped ever again after World War II, because of the possible effects it could have on people. All right. So I think this site does a really good job showing you the impact, that atomic weapons have. And we'll talk more about this as we go into the Cold War too. Okay. So the rest of class, make sure you get this reading activity done. Your primary sources for that reading activity are attached right here. And then I have my summative located right here. It's a very simple question today. All right. Should the United States have dropped the atomic bomb on Japan during World War II? Okay. It's a yes or no answer, but you need to explain your opinion in complete sentences with evidence from the activity. So maybe you're going to talk about the United States should have dropped the atomic bomb on Japan because it saved millions of American soldiers' lives. All right. Maybe you're going to argue differently. Maybe you're going to say the United States shouldn't have dropped the atomic bomb on Japan because it killed X amount of innocent civilians. Just make sure you have reasoning and opinions for your explanation, or you're not going to get full points. All right. That's really it in the Tuesday folder. I don't plan on making another video this week, so I'll kind of show you the rest of the week. Wednesday, you're going to talk about the Holocaust. Look at that. I do have some notes I'm going to attach in this folder, and then you're going to have a video analysis with your Holocaust. Thursday, all right, there's going to be nothing located in this folder. The biggest thing I need on Thursday, you're going to make sure you have everything done from the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday folder. If you finish all of this by Thursday, you're good for me. Okay, you can look at the nuke map, you can check your stocks, you can work on stuff for other class, whatever you want to do. All right. Friday, we're going to start our review activity for Unit 7, World War II. We are going to test next week. It's going to be on Wednesday or Thursday. And we'll have 3 to 4 days of review. So just make sure you're reaching out if you have any questions over anything, over any of the summatives or any of the materials, and just reach out and have a good rest of your week. Thank you.